Hey there UKADCers, it's Al here. Today we're looking at this, which is the Kizer Zipslip. This was £165 for me. I bought mine from Knives and Tools. You can get it at Heine Haynes, you can get it at loads of places. This is a commonly available, widely liked knife. This is based on a custom mid-tech-ish by Vagnino, Michael Vagnino, the designer. Fantastic designer, I might say. He does G10 handle scales on his with Boller K110, which is sort of like a better edge retention D2. He has ball bearings on his and a better looking pivot. This is the mass produced version, so more available, cheaper, even though the materials are arguably better. So this has titanium scales, S35BN base steel, VN, and this was 165 as I said. And if you're smart with your money, much smarter than I am, the one that was released 2 weeks after I purchased this has G10 scales and N690 blade steel. That's about £90. If you're very much interested in the cheaper version, you don't like the look of this, don't care to pay extra for the materials or anything like that, I'd highly suggest you jump over to Paddy's Potato Peelers, where he's done a phenomenal review of that one. Lovely guy. You'll probably enjoy him more than me anyway. So if you're looking for that one, I'd highly suggest go and look at his review. If you're looking to get the titanium one with the S35BN, stick around and we'll have a much closer look at this one after using it for a month. So this one will come in this hideous box right here, as I believe all Kizer knives do, which contains this elegant box here. I like this one, this is fantastic, just cardboard, which contains this hideous pouch, and that. Kizer, elegant and hideous, make up your minds. So this is that old American camo that nobody liked. I always thought this looked pretty cool, but I hear it's a bit shit as camo. There you go. And you get your Kizer microfiber cloth there, which is always good to see. You can always use another microfiber cloth, even if it's not for your knife. Oof. This does come with a limited lifetime warranty, provided you're not an idiot like me and you don't take it apart or do any servicing on it yourself. As such, the servicing I did do it on myself was because when I took it apart for my review, I didn't put it back together properly, and the other one of these washers got chewed up by the spring in there. If you don't know, Vagnino is famed for producing the sort of back spine there that doesn't move when you open the blade. Unlike on most slip joints like this one, you see that back spine move in there? His one doesn't move. That's because it's not a real spring. This is just a spine or a spacer, and the spring is just that reflective bit of metal you see there, that small tiny thing there. The rest of this is all just nothing, and it slots into a little slot there and rests on the back of the blade. Now if you put this back together wrong, it has 4 washers, not 2. It has 2 phosphor bronze and then 2 of these ones. If you put this back together incorrectly, and it's a bit difficult to put that together, I'll tell you that, the spring will chew these right up. It can even like dent the phosphor bronze washers, which is unnerving because it's a very strong little spring. Basically, I was an idiot. I didn't put mine back together properly. It chewed up one of these. Now what I did is I was like, surely it didn't need them. Like, they were just for making it smoother or something. I can't tell the difference, that's fine. Oh, I was wrong. If you lock the exposure and then have a look at... Can you see that there? Can you see that scratch? That's entirely my fault. The tolerances on... And I'll say that again. The tolerances on this appear to be very, very tight, especially for a mass-produced knife. That's, you know, wonderful. These 2 little things here where your finger rests against, if you don't have those little nylon, Teflon, whatever they are, washers on there, it's going to scratch. See that? Just scratches right along there if you don't have a washer on there. So yeah, luckily where I work in a kitchen, they have Teflon there. I was able to just borrow a little bit and make some more washers just out of it. It's about the same thickness as that, which is not thick at all, like absolutely micro thin. But I mean, look at it. Look at how thin this is. Look at that. So that's really how good the tolerances are on this. So yeah. So you get 2 nylon, Teflon, whatever they are, washers. Mine are definitely Teflon now. And 2 phosphor bronze. The action on this, the open, in my opinion, is if you're happy to do it two-handed, it's lovely. That's very satisfying. That if I can, wherever possible, I'll always use one-handed. Not to say I hate two-handed opening knives. I prefer one-handed, but you know, if it is two-handed and it's two-handed only, unless I can mod it like that, like this was a bit much for me. But you know, things like the Line Steel Best Man, the Benchmade Proper, I'll just deal with it. Like it's almost enjoyable even, you know. But this one, they they've built it in. So on the Midtech, the actual Vagnino one, this is basically more of an oblong, so it looks more like that. I can only imagine how difficult that is to get a grip. Kizer somewhat improved on that by giving you a little place for your finger to go. I feel like if they just sort of chamfered this bit in a bit, I don't know what that would look like. It might look awful, and if it does, fair enough, that's why you haven't done it. But if you just added a little, like, you know, just a little one, your thumb would fit in there so much better. As it is, it bloody well works. I'm complaining about nothing here. I'm just pointing this out. My finger doesn't fit in there great. It does fit in there, you know. I'm clearly able to do it. Sometimes I get to there, my finger falls off like that, and you have to just do it again. If my fingers are wet, it's like, because it will just slide straight off. Also, if my fingers are wet, sometimes my fingers slide off here. So the openings, you know, it's alright. The close is where it's at for this, for me. You jump to this half stop here, like that, and it does a little, it's such a nice half stop, it really like dings in there. And then when you close it, there's a little bit of reverb against the titanium back spine there, and it's just lovely. It's such a joy. Again, I commented on one of Paddy's videos, and the one he did of his Zipslip, where he was saying how nice it is to close, and he remarked how sad it was to get so excited over something so small, but oh, it's so nice. I can't help it. Damn you, Paddy. It is absolutely lovely. You'll just be using this, you'll be at work, you'll be out and about, you'll get this out, use it, and then you'll just quickly falls into that perfect position for your finger there. Absolutely flawless. That is exactly what I want. I love closing my knives like that. And then it does that little chink. Like, I don't know how well it will come across on video, but and then just it's wonderful. Anyway, I've geeked out enough about the action there. The pivot is the Kizer pivot that everyone hates. It looks okay. I mean, I will absolutely say the Vagnino custom one, the Midtech, whatever it is, looks better to me. But you know, it's better than just that. It's better than just that. You know, it's not as good as that. It's not as elegant as that. You know, that's kind of better to me. But, you know, it's functional. It works. I can't remember if it was a half stop or what, so flashback to my unboxing is going up now, saying what it is. I meant to say captive pivot, not half stop. I know it bloody wasn't a captive pivot. I had to push the blade to hold the pivot in place whilst I was unscrewing them. It was a pain in the arse. I also can't remember what size the hardware is, so a flashback to my unboxing is going up again now. Okay, so for reference, this one's a T8 and these are all... everything else is a T6. Because, you know, why wouldn't they? This has titanium scales with obviously no liners. Why would you need them with titanium? This has S35VN blade steel. It has a tip-up right hand only pocket clip there, which has got like a very light brushed stonewash effect to it. There you go. Look at that. It does do the titanium thing where it's like, haha, I'm gonna get the snail trails, but you know, that's a thing. It's fine for me because it's matte and it doesn't have anything written on it, and it's deep carry. That can pass as a pen. Oh yeah, let's use this. Just, you know, hope no one asks to borrow your pen because I ran out of ink. So yeah, the pocket clip is fine. It is sad that they chose the aesthetics over being more accessible to left-handed people, but you know, it does look pretty. So no lanyard on this. The grip on this is lovely. It is just, it melts into your hand. It's so good. There's no jimping, there's no need. As Slick Slicers said, you don't often want jimping so much on a slip joint, because if you've got jimping, that's because you want to push down. If you push down a slip joint, you're sort of closing it. So there's not often you actually want jimping on a slip joint there. But you know, that's that. The pocket clip, you can just about feel this tip in your hand, but that's about it. Finger choil, that little bump there goes into your fingers, so they come up like that. There's plenty of space at the back here for a man with larger hands than I. I have quite large hands as it is though, so you know, that's plenty accommodating, especially for a UK legal. Let's lock that exposure. The spring on this is, Michael Vagnino is famed for having his non-rising slip joint there, so, or back spring, sorry. So when you open and close this, that back spine doesn't move, and that's just, he's done that just for brownie points on elegance and design and stuff. There's no practical reason for it, except I suppose it doesn't push up against your finger. Like you can see that one, that spring there is moving up, and then it sits flush again. But yeah, his one doesn't do that because, like the UK PK, although slightly different, it has a spring coming off of the back spine. So the UK PK has that back spine. Attached to it as one piece is a little spring that comes off. Vagnino's is slightly different in that his back spine is all one milled piece, and then he's got a little cutout in which that spring there, that silver bit is the whole spring, just clips into the little cutout and goes behind the blade there. So, and it results in that just frankly lovely action there. So the blade on this is, I believe, a leaf blade. You get your little swedge. There's not much billboarding on it. It's a bit weird, you know, in Kizer typical fashion. So you've got the Kizer logo, the steel there, and the fucking product number. What? Why do we need the product number, Kizer? What? Just put that in the box or something. Put that inside. Put that on the inside of one of the skates. Why you got that on there? What's that all about? No one else does this. But, I mean, just where it was made, who made it, steel, name of knife. Again, company that made it, and steel down there. Can't really see it on that one because I fucked it. So, who puts product numbers on their knife? Shouldn't be that angry about it, but it just, Okay. You get the maker up there, Vagnino. I think that is stunning. I really like having... Thank you. Having the maker's name up there. That's nice as to me. I really like the way they do that. Vagnino up there. And just the name of the knife there, Zipslip, with the little weird Z logo. So, yeah. It doesn't have any billboarding aside from that. There's nothing on this pocket clip. You know, the maker's logo is up there, which is always visible, of course. And most of the stuff's visible from the closed position anyway. You do get a sharpening choil as well as your finger choil, so you tick both the boxes here for safety and for not fucking the shit out of your knife when you're sharpening it. The centering on this thing is spot on, as I'm sure you should be able to see there. And, you know, I mean, the tolerances on this, as I said before, are enough that losing something that is paper thin out of the washers area is enough to start scratching the blade. There's no blade play on this. Nothing. Not a smidge. Not even a tiny little, teensy little bit, and yet the action is as smooth as butter. Really, really impressed for a production knife. Like, unbelievably impressed with this thing on that end. I don't know if I've mentioned how much I like the action on this, but yeah, it's really, really good. So the specs will go up on screen now, and it stacks up against the common other ones like this. There's your Wasp that a lot of people have, the UK PK a lot of people have. Oh, it's here. Hinderer. I wasn't really going to do these ones, but I'll get there. I mean, it's never really great with the UK knives because they all pretty much the same size, because they have to be a certain size to be legal. So they're either that size or smaller. The US and parts of the world that don't have silly laws, you know, they get to have more fun than us. So, although I don't often find you need more than that, to be honest. And even if these were legal, if I took that to work, pretty sure some people would have something to say about that. So yeah, but size wise it's fine. Like I said, the handle's more than big enough. The blade is just what you need. So all in all, I can't believe how impressed I am with this. So quick little story time. When I first saw this for the very first time, it was some American reviewer. I wish I could remember his name. I'm so sorry. Did a fantastic review of it, but I wasn't sold on it at all. He was saying how nice it was, and on the camera, I didn't like the looks of it either. I was like, eventually, after I did the anodizing with the Spyderco Pie in the Sky, I was like, do you know what? I'll get it and I'll anodize it. I'll make it like yellow to match the sunburst pattern, and it'll be fine. Something like that. I got it eventually, and Jesus, it just looks so much better in person. What the hell? I've never had a product do that to me before. I've never had a product that I like actually looked at online and thought, that looks a bit meh, that looks boring. And yet when it's before me, like I'm looking at my camera right now, and it looks bland as on that camera. And then I actually look at it with my eyes, and I can see all the little undulations and the smoothness and the very fine stonewash on that blade there. You can barely see that, but that is actually a very light. There you go, look at around the zip slip, you can really see it. It's a very light stonewash. You can just pick up little bits of that with your eyes. And if you have a look at that, you can see just the table. You can see, there you go, look, you can see like just little things that just catch your eye. And it actually works really well. It's really a lot nicer in person. Also, this is a among my favourite knives now. Especially for the price. Now, you can pay a lot more. You can pay almost double for something like this, and I do like this knife a little bit more. The action on this, the Zipslip, just shits all over the action on this. The action on this is nice, it's fine, but this is better. This is just sublime. This is a very close second. I'd say probably for my knives at the moment it goes this and then this very close. By the way, just as a very, very quick aside, update on the Hinderers. I was looking around on this one and I found out my Spanto version of the Hinderer actually also has a stop pin as well as the thing. Wow, I don't know it's got a thing in there. I'll have a look. I'll take this apart at some point. But yeah, randomly found that out. Maybe because it's got a stronger back spring. But yeah, it's a bit weird because this is one I purchased and then liked more than I thought I would. Which is the opposite of that one, which I purchased and then because of a blade wrap issue that I had and I think one other guy has had, that no one else has experienced, so it just must be horrendous luck on my part. I just sort of left a bad taste in my mouth with this one a little bit. Which is an awful shame, because this is a nice knife as well, and this is from China, and this is almost exactly the same price. I think this is £5 more because of your carbon fibre there. But the fit and finish on this is just better. I don't think I own a knife that has got such nice fit and finish. I can only imagine how good the mid-tech must be. I mean, seeing this makes me want to get a Chris Reeves to see what the fuss is about. Can you just make the Hinderer in a small version, Chris? And I mean, he doesn't even work there anymore, does he? It's his son. Make a small Hinderer so I can have a UK legal one. Why would you make it 3.1 inches? Anyway, this has incredible fit and finish. I absolutely blown away by it. For £165, you aren't getting anywhere near this on any other knife I've seen so far. That is pretty much on par. It's about double the price. This is 300 and something, I believe. If you want. And again, you don't have to have the titanium starburst, sunburst, whatever it is. If you don't like it, you can absolutely get the plain G10. If you've got the money, just buy one. I like this so much, I actually might get that mid-tech. Just to see, because I want to know what the ball bearings are all about. I don't have any Boller K110, and I love trying new stuff. I love getting new materials, new scale materials, new steel types. I love it. There aren't many. Do I have any slip joints with the bearings? I don't think so, but I do have that Quartermaster. That has bearings, and that flings around the place. Who puts bearings on a friction rod? It does make it really fun, though. Oh, maybe that can say the Boca Plus Wasabi has bearings on it as well. But neither of them are slip joints, so it'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, I like this so much. I'm very tempted to get that mid-tech. But yeah, even if you get the G10 one, if you're better with your money than I am, which is everyone, get that one. You're not getting titanium, you're getting G10, which is fine. This is G10, and this was far more expensive, and I love it. G10 is nothing bad. N690. I also am in love with N690. That Spyderco Pie in the Sky is N690. My Dan 2 is N690. And I freaking love both of those knives. They are lovely to use. N690 is nothing to sniff at. 90 quid is more than fair for the quality you're getting with this Kizer and the materials you get with the cheaper version. If you really, really want the titanium and that lot, the S35VN, I can wholeheartedly recommend this if you got the cash to splash. 165, you know, I mean, look, put it this way. If it's between that, like a Spyderco like that, which I think was around about 120, something like 110 quid, and saving some money and getting the zip slip that's cheaper, for God's sake, get the zip slip, it's better. Get that zip slip. If it's the choice between buying 2 of these, although I suppose this falls into a different category, this is modern. This is a modern traditional rather than a... Maybe that was a bad example. Buy the zip slip if you got the money. You won't regret it. It's fantastic. You can send it back. Heine are good like that. If you don't like it, just do it. Go and watch Paddy's review. He's done it better than me. Cheers for watching, everyone. Thank you.